Priya got very scared after listening to Vedant. And due to fear, she stopped talking. By the way, Priya was not a coward girl. In her school and college, she had beaten up many boys. But for the first time, she was scared of Vedant. She said, "Priya, you are dead. Now, this psycho is not going to leave you. You must have been cursed by all those boys whom you have beaten up. Now, I am not able to understand how to handle this." She cried and said, "I am getting late. If I get late, my mom will scold me. Should I go home?" By saying this, she made a puppy face. Vedant looked into her eyes and thought, there is something else going on in this girl's mind. He kissed Priya's lips lightly and said, "Go and get ready. I will drop you home. It is not safe for you to go alone at this time." Priya shook her head like an obedient child and went to the washroom. After 10 minutes, she came out. Vedant was sitting on the sofa and was using his phone. He looked at Priya and then took her hand and left the room. While walking, Priya was cursing Vedant a lot. Vedant made her sit in the car and left while driving the car. When Vedant was coming out of the hotel, someone saw him. It was none other than Rudra and Ranvir. They were just coming out of the meeting. Ranvir said to Rudra, "This is Priya, Vedant's friend, right?" Rudra also looked outside and said, "Yes, I think it was her." Then Rudra said with a smile, "I think Vedant has also found a girl for himself." Ranvir also shook his head with a smile and both left the hotel. It was 9 o'clock in the night. Mahi was sitting on the swing in her room balcony and was looking at the sky. Clouds were overcast in the sky and a cool breeze was blowing. It was going to rain soon. The weather was pleasant. But Mahi was lost in her own thoughts. She kept thinking about Ranvir. She thought to herself, "I don't understand, when Ranvir is in front of you, you are afraid of him. And now that he is far away, why is your mind restless?" Then kissing Ranvir, troubling him, hugging him, showing him you're right all the time, she remembered everything. With this, she got a lovely smile on her lips. When she closed her eyes, Ranvir's handsome face came to her mind. She stayed with her father and family all day. And now after dinner, when she came to her room, she missed Ranvir. So she came straight to the balcony feeling the cool breeze. Mahi closed her eyes and sat down. Then a drop of water fell on her face. Then slowly the drops started to fall. Mahi closed her eyes and felt the drops on her face. There in Kapoor mansion, Ranvir had reached home. As soon as he opened the door of his room, he found his room very empty. He took a deep breath, took off his blazer, put it on the sofa, and went to the washroom to take a shower. Samira had seen Ranvir coming to the mansion. She knew that Mahi had gone to her parents' house, so she thought of taking full advantage of this opportunity. She ordered a maid to make black coffee. "Make black coffee quickly and bring it to my room." Saying this, Samira went to her room. Ranvir took a shower and came out of the washroom. At this time, he had a white towel on his waist and was wiping his wet hair with another towel. On his perfect muscular body, the drops of water were giving him an even hotter look. Then someone knocked on his door. Ranvir threw the towel on the sofa and opened the door. Samira was wearing a short nightdress and was holding a coffee tray in her hand. At this time, she had done a lot of angry makeup. Ranvir looked at her and asked, "Samira, you at this time?" Samira made a very innocent face and said, "I have brought black coffee for you." "Ranvir, I thought you might need it." Saying this, she came inside. Ranvir stood in front of the mirror and said while drying his hair, "Okay, put the coffee on the table and leave." Samira put the coffee on the table and went near Ranvir and hugged him from behind. Ranvir was shocked by this move of Samira. He didn't like Samira coming this close. He got a little rude and said, "What are you doing? Don't cross your limits." Samira was not one to give up. This time, she put her arms around Ranvir's neck and looked into his eyes and said, "Ranvir, what's wrong with you? Why do you stay so far away from me? You know very well what I feel for you." Samira's approach was irritating Ranvir. Ranvir took his arms from his neck and said in a loud voice, "Samira, I have already told you that I have never had any such feelings for you. I have only considered you as my friend. Now go away from here." Saying this, Ranvir turned his back on him. But Samira was also very stubborn. She had made up her mind to seduce Ranvir. She once again hugged Ranvir from behind and said, "No, Ranvir, don't say that. Give me a chance. I will prove myself much better than Mahi. After all, what did you see in that two-legged girl that you chose her instead of me?" Samira was speaking her mind, but she didn't know that she had said this for Mahi and provoked Ranvir's angry eyes. Hearing such words from Samira's mouth for Mahi, Ranvir's fists were choked with anger. As if blood had come down from his eyes, he held Samira's hand tightly and put it in front of him. Seeing Ranvir's angry red eyes, fell on Samira's forehead. Ranvir twisted her arm and put it on her back and said, "You don't deserve to take Mahi's name and you are going to take her place? I am respecting friendship, that's why you are still standing in front of me safely, otherwise I would have killed you alive. But next time I won't even respect friendship." Saying this, he pushed Samira away from him and Samira went straight to the floor. Ranvir warned her and said, "Now get out of here quietly and don't even think of coming to this room again." Samira was scared and was looking at Ranvir. She stood up quickly and ran away from the room as if Ranvir was going to kill her. Ranvir closed the door of the room and stood up on the drilling in the balcony. He was not feeling good in the room. Ranvir was also lost in Mahi's thoughts. That's when a drop of rain fell on his face. He also closed his eyes and remembered the scene of his first kiss with Mahi. When he saw Mahi getting drenched in the rain for the first time, he spread both his hands and started feeling the raindrops. Soon the rain got heavier and Ranvir's heart was getting restless for Mahi. He opened his eyes and pulled his hair back and came back to the room at Mahesh's house. Mahi was still spreading her hands in the balcony. Her eyes were closed and there was a sweet smile on her lips. She said softly, "Ranvir." That's when she realized she had someone with her. She slowly opened her eyes and saw Ranvir's handsome face. She thought she was dreaming. She extended her hand and touched Ranvir's cheeks. She realized she was not dreaming. As soon as she was about to meet Mahi, Ranvir held her hand and kissed her lovingly. Mahi blushed and lowered her eyes. Her face turned red with shame. Actually, as soon as Ranvir saw the rain in the balcony, his desire to meet Mahi suddenly increased in his heart. He was feeling very restless. He was upset. He quietly came to Mahi's balcony as if he had come before the wedding. As soon as Ranvir came to the balcony, he saw Mahi getting drenched in the rain. Mahi was looking very beautiful in a dark blue blouse and suit. Seeing her, Ranvir seemed to have lost his mind. When he slowly stood near Mahi, he did not realize. He came to his senses when Mahi called out to him, "Ranvir." Feeling shy, Mahi was looking very beautiful. That's why he held Mahi's face in his palms. When Mahi realized that Ranvir was really in front of her, she also smiled. Even though she lowered her eyes with shame, she was feeling as if she wanted Ranvir to be with her. Seeing Mahi like this, Ranvir was also feeling very good. But because of the rain, Mahi was shivering. Her lips were trembling. Ranvir found Mahi's trembling lips very attractive. He put his lips on Mahi's lips. As soon as he realized Ranvir's lips, Mahi's eyes closed. Mahi was feeling Ranvir's kiss. She held Ranvir's shirt tightly. Then after a long passionate kiss, Ranvir got away from Mahi's lips. He said in his magnetic voice, "Baby, open your eyes and look at me." Mahi slowly opened her eyes and started looking into Ranvir's eyes. Ranvir asked the hair coming on his face with his fingers. "Were you missing me?" Mahi probably didn't want to tell Ranvir about her feelings. Or we can say that she was feeling very shy. That's why she said, "No." But Ranvir held her hand and hugged her from behind. Both were still drenched in the rain. Ranvir kissed Mahi's neck and said, "Your lips may lie, but your eyes tell everything. So you can't lie to me even if you want to." Ranvir's warm breath was feeling Mahi on his neck. The rain had subsided but Mahi was shivering. Ranvir felt the same. He carried Mahi in his arms and entered the room. Ranvir left Mahi in the washroom and said, "Change, or you will fall sick. I am outside." Ranvir came out and looked at Mahi's room closely. He had come to Mahi's room before but he had never seen Mahi's room properly. There was a study table on one side of the room and his books were kept. There were some gold mandals on the wall in front of him and there was a photo in Mahi's school uniform in which she was smiling with two ponytails. Even today, Ranvir saw the same innocence in Mahi's face that was seen in the photo. Will Samira remove the thought of getting Ranvir out of her mind? Or will Samira play a dangerous trick to get him? To find out, stay tuned to Oh Baby only on Love Pulse Diaries.